I know. You're probably thinking, what? A January/February/March journal flip through in December? And yes, that is exactly what this is. Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brina, and I'm an illustrator with a love of all things journaling, fountain pens, and tarot, so if any of that sounds kind of neat to you, then please feel free to stick around. Today, we are going through an extremely late journal flip through of Q1 of this year. We are going through my January through March pages, just when it is about to hit the new year at this point. But I have my reasons for why this is so damn late. If you watched my studio makeover, then you'll pretty much know why, but of course I won't go over it again now because you'll see it in my journal pages anyway. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So let's talk about the journal first. As you can see, this journal is totally and fully completed and very, very well fed. Chunkified, if you will. Fun fact, this is probably my first ever finished journal. Like, I honestly don't think I could tell you I've ever finished a journal cover to cover before this one, so this guy, he's a very special little dude now in my life. So this is a Tomoe River Paper notebook, 160 pages from Paper Penguin Co. And this actually was originally like a wide or like kaye sized notebook, but I had it cut down at FedEx to a standard size traveler's insert. And actually, okay, let me show you this. So Paper Penguin Co. actually staple binds their notebooks, and about like halfway through this notebook, its little metal belts literally burst. These staples are like hanging on for dear life. Already, the staple has already let go of at least like one. Oh, there we go. I have a whole page that is just coming out of my book now, thanks to me just now. So luckily I had taken a bookbinding class back in college, and I kept all the supplies all these years, so I just did like a super quick and really whack stitch job to fix it up. I swear that my notebooks that I've bound in the past turn out nice and very even, but those were like flat and did not have like a million things already stuffed into them before I stitched them together. So that is the only explanation I have for why this guy turned out the way it did. But you know what? It keeps the notebook together, and that's all I really wanted. So it works. So as you can see, I actually started this notebook December of last year. So we're just gonna go over like those last couple days of December as well. My very first page, literally just a stupid meme that I made when I was deciding to use a new notebook size that I've never used before, which is this guy. I'd never used standard before. I went and had this guy cut down, and Christmas is like in just a couple weeks from now, but here we are talking about Christmas Day of last year. God, I'm so damn late with this. Anyways, so Christmas last year, you know, Slava and I exchanged gifts in the morning, and he had signed his gift with from an anonymous admirer. Like, okay, sir, there's no one else here. And if you're gonna go anonymous, it should have said Santa. Anonymous admirers are for Valentine's Day. Everyone knows that. So the days after Christmas, I actually started working on a pair of 2022 resolutions drawings, one for art and one for journaling. So here are the sketches. And also I ordered a Chic Sparrow B6 Slim Campfire and Narrow Yaffe Traveler's Notebooks. The Yaffe, by the way, is what I kept this journal in for pretty much most of its life. And I think that leather is probably my most favorite that Chic Sparrow has ever come out with. Ooh, bless you. It's too bad that it was a limited edition because I would buy so many more covers in that leather if I could. In the final days of 2021, I did get my booster shot, and then I also ordered a new Fude nib fountain pen, kind of like as an impulse purchase when I was late at night and I couldn't sleep. By the way, I will die on this hill that Fude nibs are like the best nibs for drawing. And then here's my 2022 resolutions page. I'm actually so proud of how this little like flippy guy came out. Like, check this out. Boom. So I got my artist resolutions on one side and then my journaling resolutions on the other. And now we get into January. pretty much right when the year began, we went on a trip to Florida / Universal Studios. We had to leave Henry and Luna in the care of our friends, and they gave us daily updates on them, and it was so cute. Also, like literally the day right before we left, it was 60+ degree weather, and it was like forecasted to snow a ton. We were actually joking that the forecast was probably bogus, but that is not what happened here. So it was absolute snowstorm when we got up to go to the airport. I guess you could say that we had left just in time to avoid the terrible weather. Our friends did send some pics of our dogs in the snow though. They seem to be having a pretty good time. And also like they showed them like all snuggled up in blankets. It was really sweet. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but as you can see like right here, I brought my little Kermit Nuimo on the trip with me. So you might see him in some pics in the other entries of Florida. So our whole trip to Florida was dedicated just to Universal and Islands of Adventure, since we were only there for maybe like 4 days, 5 days in total if you include the travel day. So day one, I think this is only my second time ever going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, but it was Slava's first time there, so that was really fun for him especially. Also, the pug update from our friends is just it's literally just like meme photos of our dogs. Like look at Henry just having like an existential crisis. That is so funny to me. Also, we tried Florian Fortescue's ice cream, and I gotta say the chocolate chili flavor was really, really good, by the way. I was super determined my first day there to buy a silly pair of slippers as a souvenir because I forgot my house slippers when packing for the trip, and I just cannot stand walking around any like home Airbnbs, hotels, what have you, without slippers. Tell me without telling me that you were raised in an Asian household growing up. So I picked up this pair of Pygmy Puff slippers, which are actually super comfy, but they do feel a little bit like clown shoes to walk around in, but I love them. Day 2 in Florida, the first thing we did was like beeline to the Escape from Gringotts ride when we arrived. And then we like did a few nostalgic rides throughout the day. Obviously you can see like Kermit throughout, right? Yeah, the pug update from our friends on this day, it was only like a matter of time, but we left some dog beds with them. And of course, Henry like really went in on his dog bed that day. That's just, we can't have, this is why we can't have nice things. So Florida day 3, we actually went in with like specific plans this time. So we all chose rides that we wanted to go on. So my ride of choice was River Adventure, because another nostalgic ride for me, because I loved that as a kid. Slava said that he actually got a little bit spooked on that ride. And Slava's brother chose the, what's it called? The Popeyes, that like water ride. And we got hella soaked. It was a bad day to decide to wear jean shorts. We actually went through one of those people driver things at least twice afterwards. And then Slava's choice was the newest coaster, Velocicoaster. And oh my god, that was such a good ride. It felt like it was like trying to like buck us off the entire time. It was a damn blast. If you love coasters, please go on that one. That was so good. Here are the pug updates from that day. Just the kids being themselves. They're starting to settle into routine. And, you know, like I said, the trip was only about 5 days, so this was our last morning in the parks. We caught another show, and then we just shopped for some last-minute souvenirs before heading to the airport. So something that I've learned about myself that I feel like I did not know before traveling this year is that I really, really love the feeling of eating at a sit-down restaurant at an airport before a flight. I don't even know what it is about it. I think it just feels so like, it feels so liminal, but relaxing at the same time. I don't know. Oh yeah, as you can see, like my Chic Sparrow order that I had placed earlier arrived literally the day right after we came back from our trip, so that was like amazing timing. The timing could not have been more perfect. We also finished Arcane on that day. If you've seen my previous journal flip-throughs, then you probably already know that besides photos, my favorite things to put in my journals are memes and reaction pictures, and also snapshots of like silly chat moments with my friends. So like here's one of them, concerning this keychain that I saw an ad for, but I was like, are those butts or are those balls? I don't know. It's January 13th. Well, okay, so like a couple days after returning from our trip, I had started to feel a little bit off. So I decided to take a COVID test, which, what do you know, that came back positive. As you can see, my Jet Pens package arrived, and I had ordered some Traveler's Notebook inserts and also a new fountain penning. Also, my mom had gotten me a new fountain pen for my birthday. And I will also like neither confirm nor deny that I might have been reading some Levi fanfics around this time. Nope, not confirming nor denying that. This feels like a little bit like a journalception, but I had decided to start working on a daily doodle diary. So I put a photo of one of the pages in here. I also put in some like maybe sketches I've been working on. This guy never got finished, unfortunately. And this was my birthday, so I just had like a very chill time. Couldn't do much or go out because obviously like this week beforehand I had just tested positive for COVID. Slava had gotten me a few things off my wish list for my birthday, including a pen pouch from Baumkuchen, a miraculous ladybug pouch, which I did not know that I wanted, but he found it for me, so that's really sweet of him. And also the Pig in Other Worlds Tarot, which is such a beautiful deck. So here's some of like the packaging from Baumkuchen, and also my friend posted an Instagram story for me of like some drawings that she did for my birthday. And yeah, and more packaging from the Pig in Other Worlds Tarot. This was the last page that I had done before like my post-COVID effects had like really settled in. And like after this day, I pretty much like wasn't able to do much of anything with my hands that required like really careful movements or steady hands because they had really bad tremors for a long time. I have like managed to get it back under control for the most part. It's not perfect or as under control as it was before January yet, but it's definitely a lot better now. And I can actually draw, journal, and like create again, which makes me so happy. So I picked up my journal backlog around August, so that's when I did all of these pages. So it's just like a good thing that I keep pretty good records of what I did on the days so I can back journal pretty well. So it was around this time in January that I started to eat so many clementines and strawberry Eggo waffles like a goddamn fiend. And I also got into like watching Sims 4 playthroughs on YouTube. And it was sad because we couldn't go out with friends for my birthday because I was, you know, obviously COVID positive at the time. But they did drop off my birthday gift for me on our doorstep, which was a tea divination set. So I just drew a picture of the cup there, even though I smooched it. It's fine. Also, I spent some time setting up my own Twitch stream overlay because I did have the intentions going into this year of starting to stream both art and journaling on Twitch. But yeah, so I still have everything set up, but it's just like after so long of being on like a creation hiatus of sorts that I honestly did not expect to last as long as it did, my confidence to start streaming before the end of this year has diminished quite a bit. Like, I think I still want to, but I gotta find that bravado again, guys. I don't know. I don't know where it's gone. It ain't here. By this time, that was when I was pretty much like clear of COVID. So I finally got to go hang out with my friends again. And for my birthday, like another set of friends of mine got me this gummy bear tarot deck. It is so funny and cute. I love that everyone for my 29th birthday was just getting me stuff like tarot and pens and stationery stuff or like divination tools. I'm just like, wow, y'all really do know me. I love this screenshot so much. This was Slava's Pokemon Arceus game. He caught a Alpha Electrode, and also he had like a little Voltorb, like a normal one. It's just, they look so mad. And now we are moving on to February. So my future mother-in-law gifted me a 40 pen case from Galen Leather for my birthday. And this is the day that it arrived. I'm just so happy to have like a place for all of my pens now because between this massive kid right here and my 10 pen case that I also already had from Galen, I now have like 50 pen slots in total. Who knows if I'll ever actually reach that number, but now I have the space if I do. I think February was specifically a very reading heavy month for me. There's some fanfics, some books, and lots of webcomics sprinkled throughout the spreads in this month. So at the beginning of this month in February, I was reading some Miraculous Ladybug fanfics, and then I switched over to Powerpuff Girls Rowdy Rough Boys fics. I'm honestly not really in like the Powerpuff Girls Rowdy Rough Boys fandom, but it's because of Lychee Doodles on Instagram that I am like kind of invested in like the dynamics. Also, they're just really cute, you know, just nostalgic cartoons. We went out to brunch with some friends on this day, and then we all went to Barnes & Noble afterwards, and literally like no sooner than the words, "I'm gonna try my best not to buy anything today," had left my mouth. I saw that they had Beneath the Moon right when I walked into the store, and I like beelined towards that shelf and I just picked up a copy because how can I not? Of course I had to pick up the like accompanying book to the tarot deck that basically started it all for me. I can't trust myself at a bookstore, basically. I also snapped some pictures of like these two books, 100 Years of Fashion and also Accidentally Wes Anderson. From what I like skimmed through, they're both amazing coffee table type books that I would love to buy as art references because the images were just beautiful. I burned out on fanfic, so I decided to move on to books. And so I decided to log in and update my Goodreads for like the first time in almost 10 years at least. So I cleared out the entire Goodreads that I had, and I'm just starting completely fresh this year. And also I decided to update my Kindle Paperwhite, and I ordered the newest 11th gen model. I don't just use my Kindle for books. I'll use my Kindle to read fanfics that are maybe 10K words or over. Anything under that, I'll just read quickly on my phone, but anything over that, I will throw it on my Kindle and then kind of like read through them on there as well. This one, by the way, it's really good. It's very like Haunting of Hill House vibes. I loved it. I read a few more horror mystery books. Also, here's like a little silly size comparison of Luna from when we first got her to now. Tiny little bear for scale. This was the day that my Kindle Paperwhite arrived, and of course I ended up reading a few more mystery thriller novels. I had joined another Miraculous Ladybug zine as an artist, and it was called Once Upon a Time, and I was trying to consider what my pitch ideas would be for the zine, and I was thinking between Princess and the Frog, The Little Mermaid, and The Nutcracker. In the end, I submitted 2 pitches for Princess and the Frog and The Nutcracker because to be honest, I had already done like a mermaid themed Miraculous Ladybug fan art before. And I also figured that the Little Mermaid was going to be a pretty popular pitch with other people doing it already. I ordered a Pen BBS fountain pen because it said that it had a mini fude nib, as we've already established beforehand. I am a huge hoe for fude nibs. And oh, okay, so new content phase. So taking a break from all those like horror, mystery, thriller novels that I was reading, I don't know, I just got like a really sudden random urge to play those like choose your own adventure otome games. So I did Ota's route in Kissed by the Baddest Bidder. Ooh, I don't know, guys. I just like my men like mischievous and with like a healthy dose of toxicity. What can I say? Also did Kakeru's route in 10 Days with My Devil. Like, I mean, yeah, talk about how much you hate me, I guess. Also, okay, so this is one of my favorite spreads just because of like this random Waluigi, and I just decided to put it in because it made me laugh that day. I think all of the romance did make me kind of crave a romantic comedy anime. So I started watching My Next Life as a Villainess because I do remember reading this manga like either back in 2020 or 2021, and it was so good. At least the first season was. Second season was like, yeah, it's okay. I started a webcomic binge on this day. I always think about this story that I read maybe a year or 2 ago called like Dr. Elise. I mean, besides the story being like amazing, the characters and the art style honestly had like an amazing glow up. Like, look at that. I think about this glow up so much. I also really love this one, I Shall Master This Family. The comments on webcomic chapters are the funniest goddamn things I've ever seen. So I always have to check the comments after reading every chapter and you'll just see more of those. You know, speaking of reaction pictures, this was actually one that someone had posted, and I was like, yep, that's a whole mood. What webcomic is that? So I started reading the webcomic that this reaction picture was from, Flirting with the Villain's Dad. Okay, so like, this is a really long entry, just because like I had a lot going on that day, but all these pictures here is from a manhwa. I think it's called Little Rabbit and the Big Bad Leopard, even though the guy's a panther, but you know, whatever, I guess. I didn't name it. They have some of the best expressions ever in this webcomic. I just kept taking screenshots because I was like, every single panel is so goddamn funny. Look at that. I hate the way that this spread looks, but you know what, that's okay. I started reading this webcomic called The Male Lead is a Murderer, and whew, it stressed me out, but it's fun. For this webcomic in particular, people posted some of the best reaction pictures in the comments. Like, you can't stop watching what's unfolding. So what Slava calls like my triumvirate of hobbies is art, journaling, and tarot. So I decided to fall back into my tarot practice, restarted my studies and my readings again, just without the journaling part, obviously. And I also like decided to take out my divination dice to work with them as well. Okay, I know this sounds crazy because I feel like I might be one of the only people to have never watched this, but I had never seen The Prince of Egypt before. But Slava loves that movie, so we decided to watch it together on this day. And yeah, it was a really beautiful film. I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. And then right after that movie, we decided to watch Fresh, which was, wow, yeah, that was a movie. Like, that was some phenomenal acting. It made me so uncomfortable. And then the next day we watched Turning Red, which, yep, that was such a good movie. I loved it so much. I have never related harder than when she started drawing hot anime boys. Like, that was definitely my whole life in middle school right there. I decided to mod a tarot deck for the first time. I did a little like borderectomy. I just cut off the white edges around the cards on a new deck that I had just got, and it came out so well. I decided to do the same to like my Modern Witch tarot deck, which I love a lot more now without the borders, so I think that looked pretty nice. Crochet is like a very, very old hobby of mine. I used to crochet so much in high school. So after a quick trip to pick up some supplies, I'm really glad to find that it was kind of like riding a bike again. So I crocheted these two tarot pouches, which I think they turned out really well. Even though like the measurements like could be better, I do actually use them to carry around some of my tarot decks with me in my bag nowadays. And I would love to like make like prettier ones in the future, but these are like the only two yarn colors I had picked up at the time. Also, if you ever want like a great tarot content creator to follow, Light Ones on TikTok is so good. I love her TikToks so much. They're fun, informative, and her tips, exercises, and questions to ask your deck are just fantastic and so unique. I kept going with my tarot studies, as you can tell from this spread. I decided to start reading 78 Degrees of Wisdom, which is an amazing book, by the way, for learning and studying tarot. This was a bad day. I don't even know why, but I think we all just have days sometimes where everything feels really off. So instead I decided to rewatch Encanto that night because I knew it would make me feel really emotional, and I think that's just what I felt in the mood for. And I really did just like cry my little heart out at the movie, and it was really cathartic. I felt so much better at the end, and I felt more like myself finally that day. I don't know, I guess that's just sometimes an emotional cleanse is just exactly what your soul needs, I suppose. We started watching the new season of Attack on Titan. And then our little girl Luna turned 3 on this day. What a sweetie pie. I started to get into researching charm casting after coming across some TikToks on it. This person's TikToks, Emerald Lotus Divination. They are now Emerald Lotus Mystic on TikTok. Their TikToks and their shop are great for charm casting if you find yourself interested in that form of divination. And so like, you know, after coming across her TikToks and like learning more about charm casting and doing my own research kind of outside of there, I decided to kind of hunt around my own house and start building my own charm collection to do readings with. Oh my god. Okay, so this was the day the second season of Bridgerton came out, so of course I started watching it immediately that night. I think this was about the time that I finished the season, and I was really freaking deep in my feels for Anthony Bridgerton. I love this season so much, and I had already loved the first season so much, but the second one, I don't know, it just took it to like a whole new level for me. The tension and the anticipation of Anthony and Kate, it just had me screaming at the screen like every episode. This was a bit of a haul day. Emerald Lotus Mystic, I did place an order from their shop. So this was some of the stuff that came within the packaging, including like card on suggested charm meanings and charm casting tips. Also got a new tarot deck. It's super cute. It's literally called the Kawaii Tarot, so you can bet your butt it's pretty cute. And I also ordered a Lenormand deck to try and learn how to read that as well. I'm still learning. For some reason it's not coming as quickly to me as tarot, so I only pick it up every now and then. And then I got this cute little Moon and Stars pouch too. So a few days before this entry, Slava had sent me this fan art of Claude and Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I was still like thinking about it after a few days, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll play that game. So I did. So I actually don't know much about like Fire Emblem. It's just that I know that Slava's played a few of the previous games, but I had never paid attention to any of them until I got him Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then he was playing the game in our living room on our TV, and I was just like, who who is that guy? And why is he so handsome? And then I didn't pay attention anymore after that. But you know, I guess I'm still very motivated by attractive 2D men. So Slava helped me by teaching me and kind of like walking me through the gameplay on this day. I, as someone who really enjoys watching video games more than playing, even though I didn't really enjoy watching Slava play this game, I ended up loving this so much more than I had expected. But yeah, I still have a problem though with finishing games, like regardless, it just doesn't matter what type of game it is. So I have yet to finish it, but I do plan to. I am planning on coming back to this soon, just not right now, but soon. I will finish this game, I am determined to. And we made it to the last entry we'll be talking about for today. Obviously we still have like the rest of this journal to go. This is just gonna cover like some of April. But at the end of March, I decided to throw together a playlist of like old Y2K songs that I used to play on a loop back in like high school. Hence like the name of it, reading fanfics at 4:56 in the morning in 2008. And then I also watched a stream of someone playing Little Nightmares 2, the first game being another one that I never finished. That was so good to watch. I love puzzle games, but that one stressed me the hell out. So I enjoyed watching someone else do the screaming and running for sure. And of course I continue with my newfound love of Fire Emblem Three Houses on this day. And spoiler alert, I do continue that for like a fair bit into April as well. I feel like the theme I'm noticing during this round of journal flip throughs is that I've just been very much motivated by hot fictional men. And that is it for my journal flip through of Q1 of 2022. If you've made it this far, tell me who your favorite fictional character or crush is in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like if you feel so inclined, and maybe subscribe if you want to see more. That's it for now, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.